Greetings friends and fans of YouTube, it's nice to see you all again. Welcome to another one of my videos. I want to start by apologising for not being on YouTube as frequently as I'd like to be. I work a 9-to-5 job and there have been other reasons why as well. I've been battling a chest infection for the last couple of weeks, and for anyone who saw the last video that I did post, I've actually damaged the extensor muscle in my arm, meaning that I've not been able to play for as frequently as I would like. I've had to sort of rebuild all the muscle dexterity and the muscle memory in my arm. Fortunately, I'm now back at a standard that I'm happy with. However, I'm sort of taking my own advice from the previous video and just taking more breaks, and it has helped. But that's not the subject of this video. Today, I want to talk about this. This is my absolutely beautiful Schecter Diamond Series Avenger. Now, I got this second hand as they don't actually make this model anymore, especially this one. I can't find a lot of information about this guitar. I know it was built in 1998, as I've checked the serial number. That's it. So anything I'm saying today about the guitar is things I've learned either through speaking to people on forums or through looking at previous build specifications for other Avenger models. I want to start by obviously pointing out the obvious. The Avenger model was Sinister Gates' guitar of choice before his custom was made by Schecter. And anyone who's seen the Backcountry video will have actually seen a custom Avenger model that Sinister Gates had built for him before they made the Sinister custom. And that was one of the things that drew me to the guitar. I used to love Avenger 7-4 when I was younger. I still do. I've seen them live, and this guitar always fascinated me, especially its 7-string equivalent that came out a few years ago. However, as I believe, they are discontinued. So, what do I know about it? It has a mahogany body, which makes it extremely heavy. It's about the same weight as a Gibson Explorer. It's quite a heavy guitar. It sits nicely where it needs to and lets you get on with what you need to. It's nice and balanced. It's not top heavy, it's not bottom heavy. It's just nicely balanced with a good weight ratio. It has a set neck construction, meaning that the body and the neck resonate together. This allows for incredible sustain on chords and good tonal voicing across the entire fretboard. It has Grover machine heads. They kind of remind me of Strat machine heads in the same sort of size. They're quite small machine heads, but they really accentuate the headstock nicely. It has EMG 8185s. I don't know if they were the stock pickups for the guitar. However, judging by the back plates, I would assume that they are, because the control cavity here does have the space for a battery. And it has a Floyd Rose licensed bridge. However, it doesn't feel like a licensed Floyd. I've been able to do Satriani and Dimebag Darrell-esque dive bombing with this, and it just holds. And I think I've tuned it twice since I got it, and that's just been because of the adjustment of the temperature from outside. Obviously, here in Britain, it's currently 25 degrees for the May Day bank holiday. It's brilliant. And one of the things that did draw me to this was that it has a reverse headstock, which is not a common feature on the Diamond Series Avenger models. It has a cream binding across the headstock and the neck, and it has a rosewood fretboard. It's a 24 fret rosewood board with diamond shaped pearloid inlays, and it is overall a 25.5-inch scale. So that's as much specification as I know. I could be wrong, but that's as much as I've been able to find out from speaking to other people and through looking at previous build specs of later Avenger models. I don't, however, know what the neck is made of. So as with any video I've ever done, I'm going to go through some tone tests, and I'm using a new amp today, ladies and gents. I'm using a Blackstar ID Core 20. The reason that I made a shift to Blackstar from Marshall is that I just want to try something new. So I've started out with a Blackstar digital modelling practice amp, and I'm hoping to move on to something a bit bigger and a bit bolder when I'm financially able to. This is a good amp for home use, and I will probably do a review video of it itself in another video. So I'm in drop D today, which is obviously the Avenger 7-fold tuning. It's a Schecter Avenger, so why not? And for anyone that doesn't know how that sounds, nice and boomy, it's nice and resonant, and it'll accentuate this perfectly. So I'm going to start in the neck position, as I always do, on the clean channel. Full tone, full volume. Here we go. And the reason I like EMGs is because when dialed correctly, they can have an incredible tone. I love EMG pickups, I always have done. Don't get me wrong, I love a good passive pickup as well, a good Seymour Duncan or a good DiMarzio. But I've always stood by EMG actives, and I absolutely adore them. And I think that shows best in this guitar. The boomy, but the boomy in the right places. You've got a lovely low end bass to them, but also in the lead. Nice and full of sustain, but nice and rounded as well. A lovely, lovely tone from an incredible guitar, and a testament to Schecter's build quality. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the pickups in the split position, which is the single coil in the neck and the bridge. Here we go. And same again. Not quite as boomy, and a lot more of the treble from the bridge pickup comes through in the split position, as it does with any pickups. So I'm going to flick straight over to the bridge and go again. Not quite as bass boomy. Admittedly, there's a lot more treble involved there with the bridge pickup, as there would be with any pickup setup. And it means that when you play chords in the distorted channels, they really come through. They're full of grit, they're full of punch. And again, just for a lead comparison, still rounded, but a lot more favouring the treble. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to switch over to a distorted channel and just dial in a crunchy tone. Come back and I'll do it all again. Okay guys, so I'm back on the distorted channel now, and again, just back in the neck position, just so you can hear how that sounds. Now the ID Core 20, it has a couple of overdrive channels. I've got this on overdrive 1, with the gain set more towards the bass side of the EQ. I've got the actual EQ itself set more towards the bass side of the EQ, and the volume dead in the middle. That will make more sense when I do a review of the ID Core 20 amp. Now, so back to the neck position, and this is on a distorted channel. Boomy, bassy, but actually really, really good for lead. Good lead channel, more than anything. I think the neck position with a distorted tone. It's a really warm lead, and I think that is in part due to the way that the guitar is built. It's a rosewood board, as I say, and a mahogany body, so they're really resonant tone woods. So I'm going to switch now to the mid position and go again. Not quite as clear cut as if you have the two pickups split. The bridge obviously is more designed for the lead side of it and the harmonic side of it, whereas the neck is obviously, it's more for chord building more than anything else. The bridge is where you're going to get a lot of the tone. So speaking of which, let's go onto the bridge channel now and see how it sounds. Nice and punchy in the chords, voices them exactly how it needs to and where it needs to. And just for a lead comparison, it sings where it needs to. Granted, it's not as rounded as the neck pup, but it certainly does the job. So what do I think of it overall? Honestly, apart from the ESP that I used to have, this is probably one of the best guitars I've owned in a long time. I adored the Jackson that I had, but there's just something about this and the way it feels, the way it plays, the way it feels in my hands. It just feels comfortable. It feels like home. And I've noticed a substantial increase in my playing since getting it. It's one of the most comfortable guitars I've ever picked up. Do I recommend it for a beginner? No. Reason why? Floyd Rose. The Floyd Rose bridges are not for people that are new to guitar. At the end of the day, there's a lot involved with stringing them, adjusting the floating on them, and understanding how the fine tuners work, setting the intonation on them. They're not designed for beginners. If this was a fixed bridge, absolutely. This would be a brilliant guitar for a beginner or a professional as a backup. But this particular model I would not recommend for someone that's new to playing. Someone who's a bit more experienced, possibly wanted to try Floyd Roses to be able to do sort of like the down baggy squeals and other harmonic effects like what Steve Vai does. Maybe. But obviously there are other alternatives as well from Ibanez with their Edge Zero system. So where these kind of guitars are concerned, shop about. Play what feels comfortable and learn about what it is you're buying. Obviously, I've had a guitar with a Floyd Rose before, so I understand how they work. But if you're new to them, do your research, learn how you need to string them, learn how to set the float on it and all of the spring tensions in the back, and go from that. As I say, this was second hand. I paid £450 for this second hand, but I think it's some of the best money I've ever spent. So as always, guys, I do thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm sorry I've not been on YouTube as much as I should. I've just had a lot of things that I've had to deal with in terms of injury and illness. I am still writing, I'm still working, and I'm still looking forward to hopefully bringing you some amazing music at the end of this year. I thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.